Okay, in this video, let's take a look at Sung-hyun Park's golf swing. Great player, obviously, great power, simple swing, awesome swing. Let's take a look. Here we got a fairway wood, and this ball is going to be pushed a little bit out to the right into this bunker. And if there's one thing I can say with her swing, she tends to get the position coming down where she's back, a little more weight in her back foot, which can get the club occasionally under the plane, which will hit the push hook combo. She does swing the club up on a higher plane than a lot of players these days, certainly going back. We'll see from a couple other clips, we can see the arm plane a little bit clearer, but great athletic posture. Hands on the shaft plane, club head a little inside, and then at this point back here, going halfway back, she'll lift that thing up onto that sort of shoulder plane, as we call it. And this view, just slightly off, the camera is probably a little more on this angle, so the arm plane looks a little lower than it actually is. But at the top, and we'll see with the driver, she gets the left wrist flat, but because her grip is pretty strong, the club face itself is quite a bit more shut, and that allows her to be a sort of a hybrid player where the club is up here high at the top, but then as she drops it down to the lower plane, as you see there, when she's playing her best golf, she'll have that thing back on the plane and then around, and really controls it well. When she's not playing her best golf, she can get the club, like we said, too much underneath here, which then sends it out this direction, which creates the pushes and the hooks both. But super athletic, down in those legs rotating, and really rotates in the barrel on the way through as well as anyone I've seen in a long time. The driver down the line view, like I said, super athletic, does a lot of work in the gym. You know, she's fit and strong as this club works its way up. She does have a feel for going back and keeping that face down to the ground. And this is a huge position halfway back if you want to be a player controlling the club face better with the modern equipment, modern golf swings, where you're really rotating on the way through. That face being square early in the backswing is very important. You don't want to get it too toe up going back, and that creates that bowing of the left wrist already in this part here, which we've seen from some other players, specifically at the top of their swings. But that face is looking right at the camera there, and that's very closed. Then up it goes here, and as it hinges, it gets a little more open. But a great left wrist position, and there's that club face we can see much more to the sky or flat there. Face pointing up this direction, which is more closed, which requires less hand action on the way through. If we look at the actual plane and compare the actual shoulder line plane to the shaft plane, there's the hands on the shaft plane, and then that front arm up on the shoulder plane. So classical position, looks old school here, but once she comes down, now it's sitting in those legs and rotating. And we'll see from the picture on the right that she really stays in here on the way through. She's got amazing ability to rotate and not move too far forward. But sometimes that will get this club excessively under the plane. And let's highlight that here with the circle. That club there excessively under the plane sometimes. Now with the driver, you can get away with that being more underneath, because as you swing up at it, the club gets on the right plane for most players. But if it's excessively under there, we get that push hook combination. There's that power move on the way through, really pushing into the ground and coming up for force. She does create a tremendous amount of power. When we look at the face-on view over here on the right, we can really see, like I said, a beautiful pivot position, wide base for power, great extension, massive turn, and the hands up high. And if you look at long drivers tend to get those hands up there, sort of parked up there in the corner and up high. And then as she sits down, look at the rotation of the hips. There's no weight transfer there whatsoever. They're just turning in the barrel. And that creates tremendous lag, like we see from a Sergio who bombs it. And at this point here, like I said, if she hangs back too much, she could be in trouble. If she was to slide forward too much, she'd also be in trouble because it gets too steep. But since it's so laggy, and underneath, they've kind of they cancel each other out. Having that much lag allows her hands to get in front up to that golf ball and keep the face open long enough to bomb it. And I can only imagine if she's a little tentative or staying back too long, some of those balls get off to the left. Now, if we compare that swing to a wedge shot here, a little blurry, but we can certainly see the angles. Very interesting. Here's a player that we know swings that golf club on a more vertical plane sometimes and on the upper plane sometimes. But with the wedges wide, great extension of the arms, limited hinge, face square, and then back down. Look how much she knows to stay in posture, like right there, to return the club. If her feet get off the ground at all, if she dances here at all, or raises up in any way, she'll miss-hit that ball. But she knows she's got to be right back there to get the club back to where it started. Keep rotating the upper body, and knows this is more of an upper body shot compared to a lower body shot. Very different technique for her wedges compared to hitting a full iron shot or driver. Look at an approach shot here, iron shot in out at the ANA, and this ball is going to land over on the fringe and kick down by the hole, but she clearly missed it. And I know this hole pretty well. It's from there, it's not a super difficult shot from where she hit her drive, but the green does have a lot of slope you can't see in this picture. There's a great position at the top. And once again, since she sits and rotates, if she doesn't somehow get that great lag in there or get enough to her left side to compress it, the ball will curve excessively this direction. She can push it too, but typically it's going to go left on some of these types of shots. This can also be a slight ball above your foot lie where that is. It's just hard to tell based exactly on the section of the fairway, but it does have some hills in that fairway. But as she drives, if it gets under in this area, and a little out to the right, it can hit a hook. But dynamically, what a swing to copy. Great position at the top. And the higher you swing your arms means the higher you can hit the golf ball, and typically the farther. But high arm swings don't work for everyone. A lot of players, as the arms go high, they end up compromising the swing on the way down and the club gets steep. So for a lot of players, if you swing the club around your body and keep your arms lower, it works better. Some players, get them up there higher, it's better. It really depends on how your body itself works and how you like to sense the club and what kind of angle of attack you like to have. But if you can copy this lower body rotation move, that is incredible for stability and consistency. As long as you have that kind of lag and you get a little to your left side, you can compress it and rip it like she does. One last look at the swing here from two different down the line swings, but one last clip here. And you can see the difference in the height of the arms in these two swings. The one on the right with the arms a little bit lower, and the one on the left certainly has the arm swing much, much more up in the air. And with a swing like hers, it's safer to have the club higher up in the air because as she's used to sitting and rotating on the way down, the amount she has it up high in the air helps create a better low point and control the swing plane. If she gets it lower and lower down in here, if she sits too hard onto her back leg here, she'll get way under the plane and hit pushes and hooks. So it's a little safer to keep that club in that high area, like on the left video, and that allows her to compress the ball easier. And certainly it's a hybrid, which she's trying to hit down on more, and the driver she's hitting up on, so that does change things. But if you have this type of a golf swing where you like to get the hands up high, be careful that if your tendency is to get low, that can cause a lot of trouble. Once again, swings work different for different people. Some players need a low arm swing, some need a high arm swing. But if you can match the arm, how high you swing the arms, a lot of it with the amount of lag you create and the amount of lateral shifting, that formula is very predictable at the bottom. And you can see here, right on plane coming down on the left, and the one on the right can be inside out more than she might want it to be. A lot of players ask me, what do they do for power? When should they be sort of pushing off the back foot, or what do they do coming down? Well, she does it right, in my opinion. She's able to get the club up to the top and then rotate and get into her legs for power. And then she's able to push against the ground later in her downswing. You can see the push there. If you push too early and just jump, which a lot of junior golfers do, a lot of junior golfers see them just jumping straight up in the air, and they have this timing problem at the bottom. They learn to do it, but it's not ideal. I think the way she does it is right on the money. She gets that rotation and down move, and then she can push hard into the ground at this point and just crush the ball. Jack Nicklaus style. I mean, really, really awesome move there. And I would expect her to be just crushing the ball with that kind of a downswing and leg action. The last thing I'll say with this video is if you look at her putting, she's not known to be the greatest putter, but she does change things, it seems. This one here looks very conventional. I like the look of it where her eyes are sort of right over the ball there. She's a lot farther away from the ball. And in some videos, you'll see where her golf ball literally is sitting like just right in front of her toes here, way too close in, looks very uncomfortable. And I think if she does settle in on the right lie angle for the putter and the distance from the ball, you know, her putting will get, you know, really improved. She's one of the best players in the world, so clearly her putting can't be that bad, but she's not known to be nearly as good a putter as she is ball striker. But I have a feeling once she settles in on the right setup position, she'll have that all figured out. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If it's your first time to the channel, please remember to subscribe. If you liked the video, hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next one.